Each week on Alabama Inc., we bring in one of our show experts to talk with correspondent Josh Sneed. Our expert gives Josh a top 5 list, and Josh takes it from there. This week, it's Joe Calamusa of the University of Alabama Business School. He lays out how to fail at a job interview.
It turns out that hideous tie might not be the only thing that ruined your job interview. Joe Calamusa is a marketing professor from the University of Alabama, and he's here to tell us what to stay away from during the interview process. But seriously, lose the tie. All right, Joe, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, glad to be here.
All right, this is your first time, so we're going to be kind of easy on it.
Okay? Please do.
All right. So what do you got for us today?
Well, I want to talk today about the 5 things to do in an interview if you don't want the job.
So if you don't want the job.
You do not want the job.
So basically, these are the worst things you could possibly do.
The worst things you could do if you want the job, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so let's get it going. What do you got?
Well, I guess the first thing, number 5, would be forget the basics. You've got to make sure you do the
take
fundamental
a shower.
things. Yeah, take a shower. The biggest things are being late, having mistakes on your resume. You can be a great
lies?
fit.
Like lies or mistakes?
Well, it could be just typos and grammatical errors and formatting things, or lies. Lies will hurt you.
Like I fought crime. I mean, you got to fill those gaps somehow,
If
right?
you put crime fighter on there better be some arrests that you've made or something.
Well, freelance crime fighting, you don't get the collars.
Maybe you have a costume. If you've got the costume, bring it with you.
Wear it to the interview.
No, that would be something I wouldn't do. That would be number 2. So don't wear your costume to the interview. No.
Right.
Just making sure you do those fundamental things that are going to turn people off. If you're late, if you have mistakes, those kind of things.
Yeah, and you would think those would be basic, but like you said, a lot of people
forget them. People spend a lot of time preparing for an interview, and then they're 5 minutes late for it and wonder why they didn't get the job.
Right.
Or didn't even get into the interview.
Okay, good point. All right, next one.
Number 4 would be not having a plan.
Right.
A lot of people go into an interview and think it's purely I'm there only to answer the questions. So they don't have any sort of preset message. They just go in, sit down, sort of grab a hold of the chair and fire away. And whatever you've got, I'll answer it. That kind of thing. So and they're just reacting to the interviewer instead of delivering a pre-planned message. That's the big key to defensive interview.
Right. Okay, number 3.
Number 3 is not knowing enough about the company. People usually know the job description.
Yeah.
But they don't know anything else. The more you know about the company itself, and not just its history when it was founded, but what it's going through now, what issues it's dealing with now. An interview is all about whoever knows the most usually wins. So if you can provide that you've made the effort to do research, then you're okay. If you go in and you don't know anything about the company besides what they posted on the job description, then you're not going to get the
So if I want a prestigious job, like if I wanted to be Taylor Hicks's bodyguard,
okay.
I would need to do the research. I need to know who Taylor Hicks is.
The rise and fall of Taylor Hicks, know about the viewership of American Idol, know about the 7 people that show up for Taylor Hicks concerts.
Ooh.
Know about all of those types
Ooh,
of things.
too soon.
All 7 of them.
Okay,
And
all
their
right.
bios.
Okay, all right. I think the wound is still fresh.
Okay.
Let's go to the next one, number 2.
Number 2 is not having evidence. So a lot of people will put on a resume things that they say they've accomplished, and they'll discuss it in an interview, but they don't have any evidence or examples to back it up. I have these skills. Well, tell me why or how you had these skills, and there's nothing
show me
left.
the proof.
Show me the proof. Yeah. You've got to have hardcore examples. Numbers help especially.
So if I'm going to be a bodyguard, obviously I have to maybe like bust out a couple push-ups for them.
The number, yes, your bench would be good. Your bench record, how many squats, how many times you can squat 300. Those kind of things would help you. Any kind of, and really truly any sort of backup, so they're not just trusting you. The interviewer doesn't just trust that you've done these things.
Right.
Have evidence of what you've done. If you go into that interview without any evidence or examples, you're not gonna get that job.
Okay, that's good. All right, so we're down to number 1. What do you got?
The number 1 thing to do in an interview if you don't want the job is when it's over, just get up and leave. You've got to ask.
Thank you, and then run.
Yeah, you got to ask for the position.
Right.
If you're not,
no, that's something a lot of people might not think of.
They don't.
Because you're right. They go in defensive. They think, I'm just going to answer these questions. Hope I made a good impression. And
hope for the best. Cross my fingers and go wait by the phone.
Yeah.
There are usually a lot of people pursuing these positions, so you want to make it known at the end that you want this job. You're qualified for the job. Ask for it.
Right.
Could you
so you don't have to stand up and say, "Oh, great. When do I start?" Like that's probably a little too far.
Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow morning at 8. I wouldn't go that route.
Your office looks nice. Thank you.
But at least this is a position that I'm interested in, and I feel I'm qualified for it, and so I'd like to know what the next steps are. At the very least, something like that.
All right, Joe. Well, I think you got us prepared for an interview.
I hope so.
I think I'm ready to call Taylor Hicks. Taylor, if you're watching, which you probably aren't, I'm coming, and you need these. These are my references right here.
Don't send your bodyguard after me.
1 and 2.